10 a.m. until Commissioner Robinson can join us. We'll go ahead and begin with roll call. County Administrator David Corbin, Chief of Staff Tiffany Stanley Stewart, Chris Humphreys, Elevate Douglas.
I'm here.
Tax Commissioner Greg Baker. From the Tax Commissioner Officer Steve Belfour.
I'm here, and I reached out to Greg's admin person. She's reaching out to get him.
Okay, thank you. And our Chief Financial Advisor, Rosalind Miller.
Present.
And the City Representative, I'm sorry, you're going to have to give me that name again, Chris, because it's not on my list.
Chelsea Jackson.
Jackson. And you said she's on her way to a conference in Savannah.
Correct.
Okay, well, it looks like a portion of us are here. So we're going to go ahead and, since it's called tax abatement compliance, Chris, we're going to go ahead and let you start off with us, if you could, to give us an update in regards to all of those companies that we deal with, and who have current tax abatements, and just give an update on that.
Yes, sir. So good morning, everyone. We met last month as the Tax Abatement Compliance Committee to just discuss all of the companies that are currently on a tax incentive plan. So we reported on that. All of the companies were in compliance. We've got, let me just do the math real quick. 10 current companies on tax incentives. Well, not technically companies, but there's 10 current tax incentive plans. We do have a few companies that are on multiple plans. Medline has 2, and Southwire has 2 as well. So really a total of eight companies there. Everyone is in compliance as it relates to their job creation, their average hourly wage commitment, and their capital investments. So all looking good there, and just looking for those companies to continue to grow. We will have a couple of companies that will start rolling off of their respective tax incentive plans over the next 2 years. And so Southwire and their one of their plans, they'll roll off in 2 years. And then same for Medline will roll off in 2 years. BioLife will roll off. BioLife and Gordon Food Service will roll off next year. And then we have 3 or 4 that will be coming on starting next year. So it's a constant of some that are rolling off and some that are rolling on to the respective tax incentive plans. So all on that front is all in compliance.
Sorry, the one after BioLife, you said there was another one that's rolling off next year.
Gordon Food Service and BioLife for the 2, where next year will be their last year on the plan.
Okay. And can you provide us with who's coming on? You said there was 4.
Yeah, so Switch will be officially coming on. Well, Switch is on one of their plans. They should be coming on probably next year on their second building. Foxhall will be coming on. Microsoft is going to take a little time. They are still under construction, but Norma Group is starting this year on their real property and next year on their personal property. Next year, Sam's Club will come on as well. So, as I mentioned, say those again: Foxhall, Norma Group, Sam's Club will be the 3 that are coming on.
And what? Just because I'm not familiar, what district is Norma Group? Where's that located?
Norma Group is in District two. I sometimes get the numbers confused. It's off of
That's
Thornton
okay.
Road, Thornton Road in Riverside.
Okay. And you said Foxhall is going to also be coming on next year.
Correct. Correct. We actually did our validation yesterday, and closing will be next week.
Oh, fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Any other updates? Because this is economic development. Any updates in regards to economic development?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So overall, economic development activity is really strong across various sectors. Last month, we closed out our workforce and target sector strategy. And so it laid out the targeted sectors. This was a study done by Ernst & Young. It laid out the targeted sectors for business recruitment standpoint over the next 5 years. Those include advanced manufacturing and metal fabrication, automotive supply, and aerospace supply, professional technology services, which is kind of more of your financial services, technology-related companies, and so forth. And then media and entertainment, which is the continuation, trying to grow more in the film industry, as well as kind of looking at opportunities that support more retail development here in Douglas. And then we added a new sector going forward, which is life sciences and healthcare, and really looking at an opportunity to grow in the life sciences arena. It's a growing industry kind of globally, and we feel we have a great opportunity there. We've got a great base already here in Douglasville, in Douglas County, with the American Red Cross, Medline, ResMed. We just announced Zoetis back in April, I believe, which is an animal pharmaceuticals and vaccination company, the world leader in that space. And so they'll be building out a manufacturing facility right here in the community. And so we see a great opportunity to continue to grow that space. And we've got a number of active projects in the life sciences arena. And then on the workforce development side, it laid out all of the things that we're already doing, but really kind of enhancing our work and being more formalized around that, and as it relates to workforce development. And we will also be looking to hire a project manager focused on workforce development and business retention and expansion. So some great things that we're doing, really trying to support our existing businesses that are here, helping them and their workforce needs and challenges. And I'm really excited about the things that we're already doing and continuing to do. We just completed a cohort for the Career Ready Training Program, where we bring in just recently graduated seniors from Douglas County school system, and we engage them in a 2-week program where they get involved in understanding really kind of how to be a professional and how to manage life. And they're all guaranteed interviews from participating companies right here in the community. So it's a way to bring talented young people to great career opportunities right here in our community. So we just completed that cohort and looking to do some more of that this fall. So a lot of good things happening.
All right. So I love when you just said that. How can we get this out to the community, or how is that being brought out to the community so that these young men and women who are graduating from high school, they'll know that this opportunity is there and it's available to them?
Yeah. So every spring, early in the spring, we do, and Breezy, who's on the line, she goes out, she works with all of the work-based coordinators at all of the high schools, and she goes out and does kind of an information session at all of the Douglas County high schools and explaining to them about what the program is all about. It's a very targeted group, so we're targeting those who haven't really applied for a transcript, so they're not really looking to go to college, and just telling them about career opportunities right here in their own community. So she does that, goes out and meets with each of them. There's probably 50 to 100 kids that attend these sessions. And then they all sign up, and then they actually get to go on tours and tour some of the industries right here in the community. And there's an application process, and then so those numbers start kind of dwindling down to those who are very interested in pursuing some of these careers. And then as soon as they graduate, it's really kind of right after they graduate. This started kind of the day after Memorial Day is when they go through the program. So we'll be doing another one in the fall, and it's not just targeting high school students. We're trying to broaden the scope. We got some funding support from Georgia Power to really dive deeper into this program. So really excited about it.
Yeah, that is, I mean, I think that's fantastic because as you mentioned, not every child or not every young man or woman, I ain't gonna call them children anymore because they're graduating, but every young man or woman that is getting out of high school, not all are, want to go to college. Many of them want to get straight into, working into the working field. And I think that's fantastic. That'll allow them all the opportunity to, I guess, decide which field they would like to go into and what they would like to do. Because I know that we have many manufacturing companies around here. My son is actually just graduated between now and going to college. He's working for a manufacturing company, local manufacturing company here. And it's fantastic because it allows him to, even though, I own a business, sometimes you don't want your own child working for you because that way they get to learn the real world instead of, dad, thinking dad's going to give them an easy break.
Right.
So, but no, I think that is a wonderful program. I would like to get with you at a later date, maybe as in one of our commissioner conversation recordings that we have like that, maybe discuss this a little bit more so that,
Sure.
our county can understand that we're doing great things like this for these young men and women.
Yeah, definitely be happy to.
Another thing I was going to ask you about is in our survey that we did, that the county did to all its citizens, one of the major things that was on that list, which I'm sure you've seen, was people requested more small businesses and more restaurants. Have we seen anything? I know that there's, developments coming out, around, but have we seen any interest in regards to bringing any more diverse restaurants or more unique, whether it's, I personally like, of course it doesn't matter, but I like the family owned businesses, the mom and pop restaurants or family owned such as Hudson's, that gives that local feel. But have you heard of anything in regards to restaurants or different shopping little outlets anywhere?
Yeah, those really don't come to us that much. We typically will get more of those kind of larger industrial or large style, company requests that come through us. Really where we try and lean our efforts into is trying to creating the opportunities and really kind of creating the space for businesses or restaurants like that to be able to come. So prime example is the creation of the Trails mixed use development, is creating a development of that nature that will have spaces for restaurants and other retailers to come in. And so it's really kind of creating the real estate for it to work, but we're not necessarily talking directly to the restaurateur. The developer in that regard is the one kind of doing the direct engagement with those restaurateurs and other small businesses that might be coming in there. But then furthermore, the city actually just hired someone who's going to be putting a lot of his attention really into the retail kind of restaurant recruitment efforts in various parts of the city. So that's always, we try and support him in that role in the things that they do in trying to recruit more of those opportunities.
And to that note, do you know of any developments that are coming up that you discussed where those opportunities would be available? Just, so that our citizens know what might be coming close to their area.
Yeah, I mean, the most active one we have right now is the Trails development. We're constantly having conversations. I just had a conversation with a group yesterday that's looking to do something that will have a bit of a mixed use vibe as well, where it's some residential and some commercial space. They're not really set on a location just yet, but they're just looking around the community to identify where that might be. So the trails is the one that's probably has the most activity right now. And I would say for the most part, when we do get calls, everyone's trying to find space in and around Chapel Hill and Highway 5. And it's just a big challenge in order to do that because it's pretty much all filled. And they're a little bit tapped in being able to find other opportunities. So that's where we try and create additional opportunities for that, creating some of these special service districts like the TADS, the one that's in the city off of Fairburn Road as well. We'll get interest here and there within that area. But where we try to focus our attention is maybe some of those larger scale redevelopment opportunities that have kind of a bit of a halo effect.
And just because, not everyone is aware, where's the trails going to be located?
So the trails is located right at the intersection of Lee Road and Fairburn Road. So right there. I think an LDP should be approved or soon to be approved, and they'll start clearing the rest of that 50 plus acres to set up for hotel, commercial retail, and residential.
All right. And Steve, I believe that's all the questions I have for you right now. I'm sure Commissioner Robinson, if he jumps on, he will have some as well. But we'll move on to, I don't see that Mr. Baker is here. Mr. Baker, how are you this morning, sir?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing fine. Is there any updates that you would like, or I'm sure that you're aware that this committee has combined, it's now Tax Abatement Compliance and also Economic Development Committee. Could you give us an update in regards to, I guess, from your office, any updates in regards to collection of taxes or once these abatements come out, what that will be bringing to our county?
I don't have a list of what we collected so far on the tax. I'm waiting for an updated list. I don't have an updated list from the Economic Development Department as of today. So I do need to get a new list of an update of all their projects and the amount of people each one of them supposed to have employed and when those dates are supposed to be fulfilled. I don't have that updated list from them as yet. As far as the TAD, I think we're okay on the TAD so far. I think we were missing some numbers on the TAD, but I think we finally got those. And I know we got the certificate in, right? Last year, but I don't think I think we finally got everything we needed on the TAD, Steve. I know we asked a question on the parcels and all that good stuff, and so, but I think we got that. Steve, I think you got that for the digest, don't you?
Yes, we do have the updated numbers on the TAD.
Okay. So I don't think we need that, but as far as the only thing I'm missing is to follow up on is a new list of all the TADs and when they're supposed to meet their goals. So I think that's the only thing I'm missing at this time.
I just forwarded you that document.
Okay, thank you, sir. That was quick.
All right.
But other than that, I think everything's going okay. I think we're aware of all the new projects that are going or supposed to come that we're supposed to know of. I know most of them are kept secret until time to let them be known. But other than that, I think I'll look at his new list and make sure we've got everything that we need for now. If not, I'll either get with him or Breezy and make sure that our numbers are good and make sure we're collecting from who we're supposed to collect from.
Right. So we don't have any numbers in regards to the possible income from some of these TADs or from any of those. Is that correct?
I don't as yet, cause I just,
Okay.
yeah, you know, he just sent me the list, so
Okay.
I have to look.
Okay.
Do you have any numbers on that, Chris? Of people that are supposed to be paying this year?
Only thing we have is we only show the percentages, but we don't actually know, we don't see their assessment amount and we don't see their bills. So we don't have insight on that side of it.
Now, well, that'll bring up another question, and Steve, you could probably chime in too, because I know in the past, we had a question of who's supposed to be paying what. Is it going through the development authority, or are they sending us the payments? Some of them are going through you guys, or they were being missed.
Yeah, we
Are
don't.
they sending those bills straight to us, and we're billing them, Steve?
I'm not sure of the question. We, as far as I know, the process is we put the value on the properties. We calculate the abated amounts, percentages, because we do have the MOUs with the abated percentages. And once we update that on the digest, then the collection is done by your team.
Right.
Based on the percentages calculated.
Okay. Cause I know last year we were missing some of those, and I know it was some questions from the vendors that it was going through you as a development authority, but it really should be going to the vendor. Am I correct?
Yeah, there were some instances where we were getting some companies' bills and we weren't sure why, but we made sure that we got those over to the companies, because yeah, those don't make their payments to us.
Right.
Yeah, so it goes, and we don't make their payments. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
the thing
I'll
is,
just double check and make sure we got that right this year. So.
mhm.
the thing is, we to get the abatements, they need to be in the name of development authority. So
Right.
because it's in their name, maybe that's where it came across. But we that's how the MOUs are written. So they need to be a government entity, and that's development authority.
That's correct. Yep.
All right. And I think we may have got all those corrected with Tyler, Steve, because some of them were wrong before you got here.
Okay.
But we may have got all those corrected now with Tyler. That's about it. So no, I don't have any numbers for you now. I'm gonna try to get you some numbers from our collections on who's supposed to be paying right now, but I don't have those at this time since I just got that list. So I'll go through it, Commissioner Alvarez, and try to get you some numbers real quick.
Oh, that's fine. You can get those. I mean, if you just when you get those available, you shoot those to me. But by our next meeting, I believe we're going to try and do this about every quarter. If I understood Commissioner Robinson right, so maybe by the next meeting, we can have that for an update for our citizens.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Any updates or any information that you would need to share, Chief Financial Advisor Rosalind Miller?
No, Commissioner, none at this time. I think for our audit, we did receive the documents that we needed from Chris, so appreciate it, Chris. Thank you.
No problem.
Mr. Balfour, are there any updates or anything you would like to discuss in the committee?
No, Commissioner. At this point, I have nothing to update.
Okay. And it looks like our city representative is out, and I don't see Commissioner Robinson. I see his assistant.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
I
Yes.
have Commissioner Robinson. I have him over the phone. He actually is. He's on. He's actually out leaving from the dentist. So I haven't sitting in. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Well, I know that there's more to discuss. I'm gonna get with Commissioner Robinson to, since we've combined these two committees. And like I said, this is my first attendance of these two committees now that they're combined. So I will get with him, so that we can lay out an agenda for these committees going, forward for updates. But, Commissioner Baker, yeah, if you could just get us that information for our next meeting. Chris will just also touch base with you. I appreciate all the information that you provided this morning. And I will also, maybe next time our city representative will be here as well, we can get an update from her, from the city, what they're doing, so that our constituents can know as well. But I guess if there's if there's nothing else that needs to be discussed, we will go ahead and call this meeting adjourned until our next meeting. Again, I'll get with Commissioner Robinson. We'll set a schedule, but we're going to try and do this about every quarter to keep everyone updated. I think it's very important that this committee keeps everyone updated. That way we know what's coming forward in regards to our not only the tax abatement compliance, but also our economic development, so that everyone knows what's coming forward. I know that there's, as we mentioned earlier, there's things that are coming that, Chris, you can't speak of right now because those are secret projects until they give us the right to go ahead and mention that they have bought into Douglas County. But is there anything else that needs to be discussed?
I got one thing, Chris.
Yes, sir.
And it's probably not you, it's probably Joe Fowler. Steve and I were talking about this a while back. We usually get a call from Joe that he needs us to sign the documents, like the day that they're due or the day before. If he could give us at least 2 to 3 days so we can read some of it, that would be very helpful. But a lot of times he and I get the document and they're on their way over and they need our signature, but we don't have a time to read the document. We would like at least a day or two to. It really has nothing to do with us. We still don't know why we're signing it, but if we're gonna sign something, I'd like to have a day or two to look at the document so that somebody asks me a question on it, I know exactly what we're looking at. If that would be helpful. That's the only other thing.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll make sure I'll do that, and we'll all just circle up around the timing of all those documents. And sometimes it ends up being kind of trying to get the documents done.
Yeah, I know.
Into the meeting, and then you're kind of left with the schedules of the courts and stuff to try and get it done. But I did hear that, and we'll work on getting plenty of time to
if we got to get something done, we won't work with you guys and get it done. But
yeah,
if we can, just a day, just to go over the document, that would be nice.
yeah, appreciate that. But I'll get with him on that.
Okay, Rich.
And I'll make sure I will get with Lisa also to let her know. And after also I speak with Commissioner Robinson to find out if there's anyone else he would like to add to this list to be on here as a voting member or just a member. And we'll make sure that Lisa gets the new update for the next meeting out to everyone with plenty of notice. But if there's nothing else to come before this committee, we'll call this meeting adjourned. I thank everyone for